Welcome to another episode of Use It or Lose It. I started the opening like that because I realized that every single episode I've started with welcome to another episode of Use It or Lose It, and that we're very excited. But we are very excited about this one as well because we have our 10th guest on the show that's a Rugby World Cup winner. How's that? 10 episodes, 10 Rugby World Cup winners. Now, this young man is regarded as one of the most valuable players in world rugby. It is rumored that he might earn quite a lot of money as well. We'll get into all of that tonight, what makes me very proud is the fact that he went to the same school as Schalkberger and myself. It's none other than Handrè Pollard. And massive applause. Handrè, welcome. Have you ever had a welcoming like that?
That is, John. That was amazing. Eh?
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah. And we don't edit out the bloopers. That makes it
that's good.
even better. Yeah.
That's better.
Handrè, we are very, very happy to have you on the show. We are very, very sad that you are currently injured. To see you off crutches, though, is encouraging. How's that knee feeling?
It's good. It's good. It's going well. First 2 weeks are done. I guess that's the worst part. So, yeah, over that. So, no, it's good. It's going well. I mean, it's a long wait now till let's say April, May, whenever I'm back. But it's okay. Back in Cape Town, happy as can be, back at home. So it's awesome.
Yeah, look, if anything, the two of us can probably just give you advice on knee injuries and knee operations.
On rehab, none. I'm not on rehab. But on knee injuries, yes, I'm expert in that field. For the people that don't know, just explain, what did you do to your knee? You know, what's the timeline about? And obviously, good news, the club's been quite kind. You can spend time in Cape Town for the first time since you finished school. Because, unlike most guys who grew up in Cape Town, in Paul Jim, who want to play for Western Province, you played for a different kind
Who supported Western Province?
Yeah.
Who supported
Western
Province?
Wanted to play for Western Province.
Wanted to play for Western Province. Unfortunately, I mean, we're colorblind.
Yeah, we'll leave that.
Yeah, I'll leave that story. Okay,
Can't see stripes.
through
Can't see stripes.
No, I injured the knee there in Paris. I mean, ACL tear, like you guys know probably better than I do. And then the club was awesome. Gave me 3-4 months back in South Africa to get my rehab done, get the op done with people you can actually speak to, and not translate or speak with sign language, which is good. And then so I'm here in Cape Town, in Paul, back in the hometown. It's lovely.
First time in over a year you're back, is it? Or close to a year?
Yeah, almost a year since I've been in South Africa. So I mean, the whole world has been turned around since then. But it's great being back, and I mean. Yeah, like you guys said, I haven't actually been home since after school. It's been a little week, a year, right? And now being back with the family for a long period of time is beautiful.
Yeah, and it must be nice, Handrè, for you as well, because as we said prior to the start of the show, you had rugby championship. I mean, you personally had an amazing season last year. I thought, Super Rugby, then Rugby Championship, then World Cup. You were away from home. Majority of the year, then you won the World Cup, you're back in SA for a week, and then over to France. So is this maybe also, and injuries are never nice, but, sometimes you kind of need to look deeper and see the positives in it as well. Is this actually a nice time for you to reflect a little bit, get back to South Africa, experience what it's like winning the World Cup here in SA as well? Because it's still that one thing that we hold on to, even in the dark days of COVID, that makes us positive and makes us, feel proud.
Yeah, no, John, definitely. I mean, it was a crazy year last year, which we all enjoyed, and it was amazing. And then exciting times going to France for the first time, all the adventure and the new country and new everything. But yeah, if it was a time to be injured, I wouldn't say it's too bad a time. Of course, you would love to play every day, like you guys know better than I do, but it's part of the game. And if there was a time to be injured, I'd rather have it now than maybe say, get injured 4 or 5 months later with what's lying ahead for the Springboks and everybody. Yeah. It's exciting times ahead, so hopefully I'll be back for that.
I know everyone in South Africa is chomping at the bit to watch rugby, but the only thing that's on our minds really is the Lions coming next year. Obviously, around about August. We don't know if it's going to still take place. We hope it is. Obviously, it can only take place when there's people supporting or people allowed to travel and come to South Africa. But just to settle our nerves about you and your injury, that is your target. Are you going to be back well before then, or is it quite a close call? to be fit in time for the Lions?
Yeah, no, I think in the old days it was a solid 9 months, but the new modern techniques and surgery wise, they say it's about 6. So I'll say end of April, beginning of May, I'll be playing.
They told John at 6 he's still recovering. I mean, it's been 5 years since he's retired almost, eh? Not quite. When did you retire? 2015. He still, I mean, he still had to have some pain pulls after 9 holes this afternoon. He couldn't make it out the half hour.
I've still got hair.
I know.
Oh,
But
okay.
you played in the back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, Handrè's also a backline player.
But that's why he's got hair.
And there's no need to be rude.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, you got 6 months. John's taken 5 years.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Okay, coming back to the actual facts. March puts you 6 months recovery-wise. I think the one positive is the fact that your surgeon was actually the same guy that did Peter Steph du Toit.
Yeah.
And the surgery, in a way, there's similarities in what he did there as well. So I think that's very encouraging. You know, Peter Steph made a fantastic return to rugby, and with a very big operation as well. I think the difficult thing with this is always, and knowing you as a competitor as well, you know, as soon as you can start walking, you'll do that immediately. As soon as you can start running, you'll do that immediately. And sometimes holding back a little bit is actually better than forcing it. So I think the timeline is encouraging. March, 6 months, hopefully get back to training then, give another month or 2 to start playing. You get a nice 2 months prior to the Lions. You start against the Lions. In the second test match, you play your 50th test match for South Africa. We win it by then. We celebrate. I mean, how's that?
You've got it worked out there.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
we hope it's as simple as that. Hey, it sounds appetizing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, these big injuries come. John's had a lot. You've had a lot. You've now got one on each side, ACL on each side. So you've got, like both of us, you've got 2 bad knees now, which is interesting. But I mean, France, Montpellier, tell me about it. Obviously, different culture completely compared to what we've got here.
Yeah.
Massive rugby country. Montpellier is a nice place. We played there well, you didn't play there, Johnny, but we were there in 2007. Nice wine area,
Lovely.
university town, 10 minutes from the beach, almost like a Stellenbosch.
It is. It's a lovely place to live. I mean, the weather is amazing. We just come from a 5-6 month summer holiday in south of France.
Beautiful.
It was absolutely beautiful. So I'm just back into the next summer, so it's good times. But no, Montpellier is good. It's different, completely different, and you sometimes get frustrated because it's not like we grew up and the game, and they see it completely differently. But it's also good in another way because it develops new skills and stuff you never even thought of trying. They just have the freedom to just try and do anything. So it's nice. It's challenging. It's all of that. But so far so good, and I've not had any regrets going there so far.
And I think it's also for you where you're at in terms of your career. You know, you've been playing for the Boks now for 6-7 years. You've just won a World Cup, and yes, you've experienced other clubs and I suppose challenges throughout your career. You know, starting schooling here in the Cape, then going to the Bulls. You know, different mentality there, different way
I
of
still
playing.
can't get over that though.
Yeah. we'll get
It's a bit of it's obviously. Yeah, okay, sorry, I'll relax. I'm chopping at the bit here.
You played in Japan, obviously totally different as well, and now Montpellier in France, totally different experiences. And isn't it? Don't you think it's good as well for you as an individual to keep growing? You know, you don't stagnate because I mean you're a world-class player, and this keeps you. I think it keeps the mind going and want to improve your fellow players. It's a big challenge, but a good one.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially the style the Bulls played all the years, and then the Boks played a similar style of game. It was pretty much the same thing for 7 years wherever I played. So it was good because you understood it and you became as good as you could in that structure, but you never got challenged to do something you're not used to. And where now we are completely different mindset. Our coaches wants to run from everywhere on the field. And sometimes it's challenging for me, but it's awesome. The times you start understanding that part of the game better, it's really enjoyable for me. So it's awesome.
Japan was like that too. You know, Japan culture is completely different. And your first stint there was post 2015, 16. But like obviously massive attacking, mindset there, same that you've got now at Montpellier. But it's difficult for a fluff because you're so important. You've got so many touches on the ball. But if there's not a structure in place, and often in South Africa, that structure is not, there's not enough work off the ball through the forwards to actually create the structure where
run
you
off your
can
feet.
you can pull the strings, and you need a 12 outside you to coach you and make decisions.
Very important, the 12.
Very important. But that's why I find it quite hard, because modern day rugby is not like the old days where you watch the old day video. Defenses are so much better structured now. So you actually need to compress them first before you can create space outside. And that is through passing forwards and forwards getting over the gain line. But some games it's just hard for you guys because you obviously want to play, but you don't have the options or the communication, and the people outside you, they're your options in your eyes and your ears.
Yeah, 100%. And I think where the communication is also tough in France, the language, similar to Japan, you don't get that extra bit of info you usually have when you're playing in South Africa. So it's tough. And then what happens is, personally, then you start looking everywhere because you don't hear it from the outside, and you get caught up there and you forget about this and that. So it's difficult, but you get there. It gets better as you go on. But at the end of the day, the basics of gain line and playing the right areas in any style of rugby, it's always going to be there, and it's never going to go away.
Yeah. It must excite you, the fact that Kobus Reinach is there now as well as a 9 at Montpellier. At least from a 19 combination point of view, the communication should be better.
Ask the coaches Afrikaans. The on-field mic is all going to be Afrikaans. Because Kobus couldn't speak English when he was at Northampton. I played against him there.
Kobus, after 2 weeks, he said, "No, I'm fluent in French now. They can ask me anything." They asked him in the video session. He's like, he had nothing to say.
You speak English with a French accent. Does that count?
So it's good to have Kobe there. I mean, we haven't played together 1 minute, unfortunately, now. But I mean, he's still there for a long time. So I'm sure we're going to spend enough time together. And I mean, he's world class. He's already making a big impact for us. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and the South African impact there, because over the last 5 years or so, there's been a hell of a lot of South Africans that's gone through the club and almost had the ability to bring the club to a level where it's more consistently competitive. But it's always difficult for the South Africans over there as well. You don't want to be boxed in as kind of the outsiders. And I suppose with Jake there at the time, it was maybe that. But do you guys stick together, and does that make the whole experience a little bit easier as well?
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier, especially that initial 3 months just to settle in. The amount of support and help they give is crazy. It just makes it so much better. But I think because the last 5 years at the club was first Jake, then Vern, it was so English and foreigner-based influence that they are really trying to make it a French club again. I think they feel that's necessary. Now, I think it's a good thing because the French players sort of sometimes get not irritated, but they feel this is their hometown. They grew up here. Now they're having to sit in classes where it's English and the coach is speaking English, and it can't be fun for them. So I understand it, and I think if we just embrace that as South Africans as well and try to learn the language as quickly as possible, it'd be great.
Let's talk World Cup. I mean,
I love talking World Cup.
We can't talk about it enough, right? And I suppose Joe Public is getting a little bit of an insight into what really happened in the change rooms, in the team dynamics with the Chasing the Sun documentary now. But I mean, looking back now, has it sunk in? Is it real now?
Yeah, I think it has. For me personally, it's sort of a new thing now again, being in South Africa again, and still seeing the bit of excitement on the people's faces, especially driving down Paul Main Road, seeing the petrol, the guys selling the petrol, they're happy, always happy to see you. It's something I didn't experience, so that's lucky to see for me. But it has sunk in, and I mean, what a time, what an enjoyable time. You guys have both experienced it, and it's just for me, it was more a relief.
Yeah.
Sitting on the couch, looking at everything, it's like, oh, okay, fuck, we did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing. Everyone asks me, what's the first emotion? I said, absolute relief. Because you're in that pressure cooker for 8 weeks. You guys were even a week before for 9 weeks. You get to the final, there was so much pressure. And unlike you guys who delivered, the performance of the World Cup in the final, we did it the other way around. We were playing very well until the final. We just edged it over the line. But like for me and John, we were in studio, we watched that semi-final against Wales. And when it started beforehand, we were like, this is going to be a terrible game of rugby, but it's so tense for us. So tense for us. Yeah. And then Damon de Allende, I mean, I don't know how he scored it, but he scores the try. Okay.
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. And we're jumping up and down, and still we're stressed. And obviously Flo gets the turnover, but then straight after that, everyone's like, South Africa can't win the World Cup. And I was actually going like, no, this is exactly it. This was our toughest game.
Yeah.
Going against England, we play so differently. And I think what's going to help us is the fact that we know for a fact if we play within ourselves, we can't win this. And it was so evident. Obviously, you guys didn't change anything. Everyone thought you changed it up. But I loved that first penalty advantage where you in the pocket out behind Peter Steff and played until played through the penalty advantage. What was the message from Rassie, in that week? Because something had to switch. That listen here, we can't die wandering here.
Yeah, no, it's weird though. Like just going back to the semi-final, for me it was a thing of beauty actually, that game, because it was such a patient game of just doing the same thing over and over. It was boring to watch, terrible. But
you knew the plan and you executed it.
I even get bored watching it.
We were so nervous. We couldn't. We were like, come on, something's got to happen.
Yeah, but to actually get the confidence that we have that patience for us as a team was brilliant. And then I think in the final, like you said, nothing changed. We always had that mentality of listen, if it's on, we go. I think everybody was just at 1% more switched on, more alert. Just a little step ahead of England throughout that 80 minutes, it felt for me. And the guys were just brilliant. When we got those opportunities, it was brilliant.
And I suppose the lesson in that is, and if you take the quarterfinal as well, is that you need to do what's expected and you need to do enough to be able to win the game. So you analyze, what's the opposition going to do? What can we do to counter it and to win the game, to score more points? And unfortunately against Wales, that was the way that you were going to win it. Or otherwise, you up the risk, and if you don't execute well, you lose the game. And it's a World Cup semi-final. So I think sometimes that's a difficult thing to understand from a spectator point of view. Is like, we want to see tries and high scores and whatever. That's not always the way to win the game. And sometimes it needs to be ugly, and you need to be able to execute it as a player.
Obviously, the pressure wasn't on me and you, John, but we were looking at our team.
I'm stressed.
And we're looking at the Welsh side, and we're going like, we are so much better than them, actually, going into, because they obviously lost a few key players and they were injured, not playing too well, and we're like, we can actually have a go here, but we knew it was not going to be that. So, like, I mean, my nerves, but I was jumping up and down the studio there, and no voice left.
Yeah, but tell me, you mentioned Damien's try in that semi-final. Now, you and Damien has built up a very good friendship as well, but also just clicks on the field. The two of you just click. How important is that? And Damien's kind of someone that some people love to hate, but having someone like that who's just he's the kind of guy you want to go to war with, and you know that if you need him, he's going to be there. How important is that combination and partnership and communication, all of that?
I think you guys know Dukes very well. You've played with him enough to know the fighting spirit he's got. That guy stands back for nothing or nobody in anything in life, not just rugby. But his communication and the stuff people never see is unbelievable. I wish I could explain it to everybody so they understood it, because I think they will have a complete different perspective of Damien Delende as a rugby player. I've said it numerous times after the World Cup. For me, he was the best player in our team throughout the World Cup. Definitely. I agree. He's just, I call him the alien because he's a bit of a weird guy. We all know he's a weirdo.
Understatement.
Well, granted, he was at Milnerton High School. I mean, just give him a bit of space.
Fair enough. But it's, I mean, the trust there is just unbelievable. When he and I say Villiers as well, the three of us, in terms of managing a game, whenever one of those two guys says something, don't even think about it twice ever. If they say it's on, I know it's on. If they say it's not on, it's not on. And that's a lovely thing for a fly-off, because you need those eyes. And
when just the ability to, when you're under pressure, you're given the ball and there's going to be meters made. You're going to get the ball back. I mean, that's, for a fly-off, and I mean, you're probably one of the most physical fly-offs in world rugby, but to have that and just to take the pressure off of you, it helps so much. Amazing. I've got one question for you in regards to the final. A final, absolute pressure cooker, okay? There's a lot at stake. You get your first kick at goal and you miss it. I mean, I can't kick. I would have walked. If I missed that first kick, I would have walked off the field.
He would have retired himself. Knees gone. And everyone would have believed him, because if he went for a scan, his knees was gone. So he would have made it.
How important was that second kick and slotting that? And I think, Handrè, again, and I mean, we don't want to blow smoke up your arse. But I mean, I think that's what the value we get from you is to be able to take that second kick, slotted, and the first kick it didn't affect you at all.
But
or
John,
did it?
Also, just adding,
Please say it did.
Just adding to that, I think what people didn't realize in that finals, how much more experience we had or exposure we had in that team to that semi-final before the World Cup before in 15. And I remember you missing two in the first half, or two tough kicks.
Quarterfinal.
In the semi-final, was the semi-final against All Blacks?
No,
2015.
Quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal.
3 kicks that day.
Yeah. And I remember we kept on giving the ball back to him, and eventually you started obviously nailing them, and it was, one of the hardest fought games ever. That was similar to the semi-final. But like for that lessons you learned in that World Cup, obviously not taking away from John's question, in this World Cup, could you rely back on some past experiences thinking that I've been here before, I can do it?
Absolutely. I think especially 2015, that Wales game, the quarterfinal, missed like 3 kicks. We just get the win in the end. And then I remember that next week in the media, always asking me, you're kicking, he's kicking shit. What's going on? And came out the semi-final, kicked 100%. When actually in the quarterfinal, this time around, also didn't kick too well against Japan, I remember. And then actually, first thing I thought of was 2015. Quarterfinal, then the next week semi-final, and then the next week kick 100% again. So it's great to be able to go back, knowing you've done it before. It's all right. Just trust the process and go.
But again, it's something you just said. You can't explain the communication of a Damien Delendi, but you can't explain the value of being mentally strong as well. Yeah. Some guys just have it. Physically you might be strong, you might be quick, whatever, but mentally you might not be there. In the pressure moments, you don't deliver. And you've been able to do that time and time again, and it's kind of overcoming adversity. Whether it's injury or whether it's a challenging time in the game, you get over it. You make a mistake, get over it, and just rectify.
You often see that, like certain people hide away, and then other guys just when the pressure's on, they want the ball. Like you want to kick it to goal. You said, "Can you kick it?" You go, "Yes, I want it."
It's going back to that first kick.
Yeah.
None of my teammates will ever say it, as I missed it. Usually if you miss a kick, boys will be like, Willie, come on.
Next one.
That day, I missed
Silence.
that first one. Everybody. Not one guy, I think.
Not one guy said, sorry.
Then luckily Sinclair got that head knock. Every 5 minutes, okay, rustig, let's go. But I actually wanted to ask them, why?
Please, guys, thanks for the support, buddies.
Afterwards, Dwayne's like, what did you think after that first kick? No. Why didn't you come second on that?
You get worried when you kick that second one and there's a full front line of 14 players next to you. No one's taking a step back. Handrè Pollard was the
No, shimmered, but I can remember. Yes, like I was stressing because I was putting myself in that position, and then you just think, oh my word, it's a final. You try to get negative thoughts, but it's you put it behind you, follow the process.
The only time I was comfortable when you were kicking is when it was actually a grabber, where I knew from your hand to the ground, very close, fast, like a drop. Because I've told you the story before.
Let's not talk about my kicking.
Straight after halftime, Handrè, John kicked it back 5 meters. I've told it before, but I carried the ball up, and I don't know, it was like a messy exit, and then John was standing like this, shaking, and he just put this sticky stuff on his hands, and I started laughing in the bottom of the ruck because I knew this is a disaster. The thing got past him. The ball was stuck in his hand here. He was swinging through and then somehow hit it with the side backwards. And I was laughing. He got angry at me. Basically told me to shut up, man.
Yes, against the Crusaders at Newlands. I've had many more embarrassing moments on the rugby field. World Cup's a high pressure situation and competition. Were you guys ever, did you enjoy it at times as well? I can remember I joined you guys there in Kobe for a couple of drinks after the USA game. Can you look back at it and did you have good times as well during the World Cup? Some social events and all of that?
We did, I must say, because we had that 20-week block, everybody's heard about it, the 20-week block Rassie put out. And before that, in the meetings building up to the Super Rugby, we asked Ella, the conditioning coach, where are we going to release? Because it's going to be very stressful, a lot of pressure. So he said, listen, we're not going to be on the piss like in the olden days, 3-4 times a week. It's just impossible for so long, 20 weeks physically. So he said, listen, okay, there's an opportunity, there's opportunity, and there's opportunities. And the boys actually stuck to it, which was awesome. Nobody asked too much questions. I mean, in this group, there was a lot of trust, of course, in Rassie. We all trusted him. So we had good times. We played some golf like always. It's always fun. And we had great times. I mean, I had too much fun one night when I got my tattoos, but it's what it is.
It always seems like a good thing to do at the time, man. Yeah.
I've got no ambition to get a tattoo, right?
What is this? Come on,
Triangle, you still need to.
Jackson James. Anyway, good memories. But yeah, we had fun.
I saw as well Red Bull, I mean, we're in the offices here, took you to the Formula One.
Just, yeah.
And how's that meeting everyone?
Amazing, yeah.
Amazing experience. The speed, the sound.
It's ridiculous.
The smell.
And just how chilled those guys are before the race.
Oh, really?
Like an hour before the race, we were standing there chatting. Max Verstappen, most chilled you probably ever could get in your life. Just standing there, Lewis on his little scooter.
What do you mean? You're not like that an hour before kickoff?
Okay, probably am. But I mean, those guys are driving at 340 kilometers per hour. I mean, it's hectic. And they just get in the car and they just do what they do. And it's amazing.
And meeting a guy like Max Verstappen, cool, eh?
Crazy.
Relaxed guy.
I was actually a fan before that already, so I mean, to meet him was awesome. And of course, Lewis, he won't speak to anybody, so he's just chilling on his scooter up and down. Lewis, but it was awesome.
So he didn't know who he was. Jeez, he's rude. So, are you a big fan of NFL?
I am.
So, since you've won the World Cup, I'm sure you've been able to. Have you met some good people? Have you spoken to anyone that you look up to?
I have.
How was that? Tell us about that experience.
Thanks a lot, please. That was awesome. I mean, Tom Brady, of course, I love him, and it's a role model of mine. And then he sent us that video clip in the World Cup for that All Black game. It didn't work though, but anyway, awesome. And then Rupi said, listen, I'll chat. You want to chat to you? I was like, okay. Johannes, you can chat.
Can't say no.
Okay. And then he just there at the function afterwards, after the World Cup on his farm, he calls me over. And okay, let's go. And there he's speaking to Tom Brady. So that was amazing. Just had a quick hello and thanks for the video. And he's a legend. A bit of a fanboy, but it's okay.
We mustn't forget about us now too. So when you're going across to America, I mean, me and John, we can always just come with.
You guys are
I'll carry your bags. I mean, I know your knees are in, John.
We're living our dreams through your lives. But that must be so cool, eh? And I think there's such a big lesson in that, because you are a hero to millions of kids out there, grown-ups, elderly people, whatever. But still, you've got that person that you look up to as well. And being able to speak to a Tom Brady makes you feel like a little kid. That for me is so cool, and that's the beauty about sport.
I mean, originally it was you guys, but then I got to know you, so I was like, no.
Then it changed,
Okay, I've got to get someone else.
There's always those stories that, yes, you've got this year, and then you meet them, and it's like, wasted so many years looking up to you guys.
They play with us, and like, they've got to move on. Eh? So the old dogs, it's my time to shine. Eh? Let the old bullet move on.
It's inevitable. And unfortunately, it happens to all of us. And you might not know it now, but it happens faster than you can imagine. Yeah. We shouldn't cry about it now. I want to go back to the Lion series. Okay, so that's obviously something you've achieved. Most things now, World Cup win. Probably from a club level point of view, you've got some goals that you want to achieve as well. From a Springbok point of view, I think getting to 50 caps is probably a goal for you.
Junior World Cup stuff.
Yeah, you've won a Junior World Cup as well. Lions must be that one thing that's you miss it next year, you don't get the opportunity again.
That's it. And I mean, I was grade 9 when you guys played in it. I mean, that's when you can actually start understanding rugby a bit better.
Yeah.
And yes, I just remember the memories. It was unbelievable. So that was always a dream, but I mean, of course, the World Cups and playing for the Boks, that was a short-term goals. But I remember 2009, I sat there and I was busy doing the maths in my head, and I was like, I'm going to be 27. Geez, it's going to be awesome if I could get there. So it's here now, hopefully. Injuries can go well, and you can put your name in the hat again to get back for selection. And then, I mean, It'll be amazing to be part of it. I think it's probably as special as a World Cup, if not more, because it's so rare. So very few guys can get the opportunity to play it. So yeah.
And I was across in England, played for Saracens when they announced the team went down 4 years ago, went down to play the All Blacks, and what it means to those players, I don't think they celebrate their first English cap like they do celebrate getting selected to play for the Lions. I remember we finished training, our training was scheduled around it, and we were all sitting there having a few beers straight after training. And every single player that got nominated to go on the Lions pretty much just had it down, got showered in beer, went ballistic, he got tackled off his chair. I mean, and then all of us just waited for this test series to start. So for them, it's also enormous. In coming here, what I like about the Lions is, with the rest of the world of rugby has moved away from long tours and we travel back and forth everywhere, they come in here and they travel all the cities, they play against all our best unions, everyone gets exposure to it, and they bring along with them 60,000 followers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing atmosphere, it's an amazing event, we're all waiting for me. Obviously my experience from Lions wasn't too good, I played only 70 minutes, I got someone in the first, just after the kick, we won't go there. I mean,
did you eye guard someone? I mean, that's rude.
Yeah, shame, man. It was. Sometimes in life you get stuff wrong. I've obviously got that wrong.
Yeah.
A little bit too hyped up, but I mean, we can't take it back. It happened.
Yeah.
Still won the Test match. Only just. Thank you, Morna.
Nice hair.
Good hair, good lad. Then I got married and 2 kids, and she gone.
Yeah, that's the similarities of the two of you, right? So you played your 50th Test match in the second Test versus the Lions.
Oh, that's right.
And you're on 48, right, Handrè?
Yeah.
Possibility of playing your 50th Test match in the second Test match.
That would be cool, eh?
So awesome, and it'll be in Cape Town.
Yes, eh?
That'll be cool as well.
That'll
I
be
think
amazing.
It's a away game for you though in Cape Town.
Yeah, it is.
you want to touch on the Bulls thing. You want to just go. Get it. I mean, otherwise you can't sleep at night.
I mean, hopefully we can go for a beer afterwards. We can sort it out properly. It still irks me.
You want to talk about it?
No, it's okay. I can deal with it. Yeah, I can internalize my rage.
Handrè, so we know about the planning for World Cup and Rassie, the way that, the meticulous way in which he planned for that. Spare thought for Jacques Nienaber, his first Test match might just possibly be, as coach, might be against the Lions. Okay? Yeah. You win the World Cup, your next game is against the Lions.
Won't it go Lions, All Blacks, Wallabies maybe?
Yeah, well, exactly. And here's the thing.
Next.
It's his first game as a head coach
ever
for any team.
Yeah,
I mean, that'll be so special. But I mean, it's so my question, coming back to the question, and I think it will be unbelievable for Jacques. But coming back to the question, is the planning there already? Are they in communication with you guys who's formed the bulk of the World Cup team? Because you're scattered all over the world. Is the planning there?
Yeah.
Or not yet?
I don't think it's too much focused on that yet. Of course, it's in everybody's mind, so that's where we're working to. But I think with the strange times we've had and wanting to play the rugby championship, and then, I mean, it's probably not going to happen. We'll see in the next couple of days. But I mean, so they were just trying to have everybody fit. They communicated to us quite a bit, but it's just about physically getting back because there's a massive amount of injuries in Europe at the moment post-COVID. It's definitely a thing. Not everything, but it's definitely had an influence. So I think for the safety of our team, we shouldn't play now, if you ask me personally. But it's not our decision. But it's the planning is geared towards the Lions, definitely. Yeah. But I think we just put more focus on the short-term solutions at the moment. Yeah.
And it's such a good point. I mean, if South Africa goes to the Rugby Championship now, just imagine the risk for those players to go play, because you're literally going to have guys that's played 3 games, 3-4 games, and then having to play high-intensity international rugby against the All Blacks and the Wallabies and Argentina. I mean, that is so risky. And if you think about that's your assets, do you put them under such kind of risk?
I think it's hard. I think from South African rugby perspective, you want to do everything in your power to get them ready or as close to ready or you're conditioned for it. But if something happens out of your control, then obviously it won't take place, which I think will probably suit us if it doesn't take place. But I heard Rassie saying that he wants the players to play 6 games or 6 full games before he gets there, but we're not going to get that in, eh?
Yeah.
They're not going to be fortunate enough to play all those games.
can't.
Yeah. So, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just glad rugby's back, Johnny.
I'm also glad.
I'm glad. It's nice to go and watch a rugby game. It's nice to see
But
it
you
on
can't.
TV.
But you can't.
I can. In Cape Town, I did.
Yeah.
Well, not this weekend.
Yeah, but you were working.
I was working. But
Yeah.
I was there. I mean, it's like watching a training.
It's so weird.
It's so quiet.
We at least have 5,000 people at the games in France, which is nice, actually.
I definitely think the players will have to reassess how they approach the game.
Yeah.
There's 100%. It's like a training. Everything feels like a training. You can hear everyone talking to each other. The tackles just sound a bit more brutal and fleshy, and the blood squid sound. But like, there's no one, inspiring you to run a bit further or work a bit harder. It's just you. It's like everyday life. It's like training, waking up, going to the HPC and running around.
Did you say the blood sound? What sound does blood make?
No, blood squid. Yeah.
Oh.
Blood squid. Sorry, Johnny. It's like
Okay,
a slap.
Okay. I know that you have been reading up on jokes and trick questions. We know that you are one
This
of the
is why we invited you to the
We
show,
are one-
because we know you're going to laugh.
and you're one of the 15 guys that actually watches the show. You have watched it before.
Honestly, watch it, eh?
Most of the guys that we've had on the show, and then we ask them, so do you watch this? And they're like, no. Like,
Frans van Herbe.
Oh, Francie.
Legend.
Francie's got a bit of a COVID lafey.
Covered body.
Okay,
That's cute though.
I love a France.
Scrub.
Okay, so you know the rules, Handrè, and this is very important. This is like the World Cup, basically. You lose this, you lose all respect
I'm more nervous now.
in the rugby fraternity. So 5 questions. Don't laugh. Try not to laugh. But like Schalk Brits tried so hard not to laugh, and then he spoiled the game because his laugh is what makes you laugh. The first question is very much in your line. Okay. Do you know the last thing that my grandfather said to me before he kicked the bucket? Grandson, watch how far I can kick this bucket. So he's not dead. He's not. You thought he was dead, but he's not.
No.
He kicked the bucket. He kicked it.
He kicked the bucket, John. Yeah,
Okay, that's the first one. But you guys,
I love it when you explain it.
Yeah, I had a smirk from you, and a smirk from you, and one laugh from the cameraman. At this stage, they're doing it for
That's better than we've done in the previous 6 episodes.
Okay. How does a penguin build its house? Igloos it together. Igloo, because they have
They don't actually build igloos, but we get it.
But they have igloos. Why do you never see elephants hiding in trees? Have you seen an elephant hide in a tree?
Mm-mm.
You know why?
Mm-mm.
Because they're so good at it. You can't see it. That's my best joke. My best joke of the 10 episodes. Okay.
It was all in your delivery, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's so terrible. You had to laugh.
We're going to do 2 more.
Yeah, I do 2 more.
What's a ninja's favorite type of shoes? Sneakers. Because ninjas are sneaky. Sneakers.
Oh, dear. Okay. One more. Is this one more?
So my friend says to me, not you, you're not my friend anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So my friend says to me, what rhymes with orange? And I told him, no, it doesn't. What doesn't rhyme with orange?
You got the cameraman again.
And that's...
Elephant is good.
I actually thought that was much better.
No, the elephant one was the best one of this episode.
Yeah.
Series. Gone.
And it's probably the elephant in the room is, do we keep the jokes?
Yeah, I mean,
I think we should.
I mean, I think it takes an important part of filling a few minutes. Otherwise, we'll be empty. We'll be all done by 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And it also keeps you busy, Johnny. I mean,
does
to
keep
prep
you busy.
these, and it keeps all 25 of our followers interested because
Yeah.
they keep on sending you more jokes, you see.
Yeah. Handrè, so in Paul with his squinnies,
No, I bought it out there, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. In
There we
lockdown
go.
of boredom, my wife made me do it.
as you do, because you're on
Your neighbours,
decent,
maybe. I mean, you might have to.
you're on decent remuneration at Montpellier. You can,
It's just
convert to rands and you're right.
fake news, I guess. So
Yeah.
It's no proof of
Hey,
anything.
love of the game. I also played for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Handrè, so in Paul, enjoying back to your roots.
It's amazing.
Like,
It's so nice being there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never got to go to Paul often after school
Yeah.
because of Pretoria.
Don't mention it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Don't mention Pretoria on the board.
But to
I
be
just
there,
got over it.
And that's priority now. Rehab, getting that knee right.
Yeah.
And besides that, just enjoying being home for a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to be here probably till January, so it's a good break. Be here for Christmas and New Year's, which would be awesome.
Lovely. Yeah.
And then go back and finish.
Plans
up my
plans
last
for
row.
Christmas, New Year's? Any holiday plans? Going away somewhere?
Well, don't put it on the show because the millions of people that watches the show will just follow him around.
No, man.
Sunby, they're close to Mons.
Okay.
Always family.
What's the address? What's your address?
It's okay. Somewhere there. Yeah.
Because that's the one thing you're going to miss a lot in Europe is, a good summer holiday. That's the thing I miss the most, though, being in UK and before that in Japan.
We had a decent one now in France. COVID,
Yeah.
of course, made it tough. But the south of France, nice in summer. Easy 45-minute flights to Sardinia or Italy. It's nice, easy, but
Beautiful.
it's not December, Christmas, South Africa.
And
It's-
I suppose that's the beauty about what we do, what we did, and what you're still doing is when you're based in Europe, you've got access to so many countries so quickly. When you're based here in South Africa, whether it's Cape Town or Pretoria, getting to Europe and to really explore is so difficult. When you're based in Europe, it's a quick flight. You go onto whatever website and you go check out all the other places. So it's a great privilege, and you must make the most of it.
Yep.
Handrè, thank you so much for joining us.
thank you guys. It's awesome.
It's been great having you on the show. It's great to see that you're on the mend. It's never nice when we see injuries, but unfortunately, it's part and parcel of rugby, and certainly the way that you play. You're not your traditional fly-off, so you're in the thick of things most of the time. And we just hope that injury gets right quickly. So thanks for joining us, and good luck with that recovery.
Same from my side, Handrè. Massive fans, both me and John. We're still passionate about the game, as we always used to be, and it's always a pleasure and comforting for us when we see you in the Springbok jersey or playing for Montpellier. We're always tuning in, watching, following your career path. And all the best for the future. I know that knee is a long-term injury, but sometimes these things happen, and we come back a better person.
Yeah.
Takes a while to come back from them, but I'm sure we'll watch you for many, many years to go. And all the best in Montpellier and in your ventures over there, you and your wife.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. It's
And
awesome.
we can't wait for that first golf game. Once you can swing a club, we'll book. No, not too far. Not too far.
Well, first thing, I'll book, and I'll book 2 buggies.
Okay.
Because there's no ways you guys are walking 18 holes.
Yeah.
eh?
No,
You never,
no chance.
hey,
No,
Osby,
never chance.
You'll never walk. You'll
Never.
never walk 18 holes again.
never.
Well, there we go. It's the end of Series 1 of Use It or Lose It. 10 episodes, and we finished on an absolute high. Handrè Pollard, World Cup winning fly-off. And as mentioned before, I think one of the, if not the most valuable player in world rugby. We've had 10 Rugby World Cup winners on the show. 10 episodes, 10 Rugby World Cup winners. I mean, this is an unbelievable show.
It's only because me and him won, so we actually had 8, and then
Yes.
we count ourselves. So we
Yeah,
get to
we
10.
count ourselves.
We got 8.
We
plus
got
2,
8.
10.
We also had the most successful Protea cricket captain of all time, Graham Smith. And we've thoroughly enjoyed Series 1 of Use It or Lose It. We will be back. It won't be long, but we need to take a bit of a break as well. To everybody that has been following us, thank you so much for the support. Tell your friends, family, and everybody. Put it on every social media platform that you do have. And hopefully we can be back sooner rather than later. If you're not following us already, please do follow us. Big Series 2 coming up. We will be covering the Lions series in South Africa. Please let the Lions series happen. And so much more. We're going to go into other sports, all the South African stars all over the world in different sporting codes. We will be covering them on Use It or Lose It. Thank you so much for all your support. We're done. Scalla, what do you want to say?
I'm done. It was a million words in 2 minutes. I don't have to say anything. Can we go have a beer now, please?
No, we will.
Thank you.
We're going to take the crew out for a burger and a beer.
That's it.
With
Thank you very much, guys.
Burger and a beer with Schalk Burger.
John, it's not a joke. Your jokes are done 2 minutes ago.
This show is a joke. Cheers.